terms of earnings here. We have NVIDIA reporting after the bell. So we're going to be getting into some of those levels in just a bit, but I wanted to start early because the trading is good and we are in a micron trade that is breaking out here. So we'll keep this in the corner as we start to talk about NVIDIA and semiconductors as a whole, and we can break down some of the setups that we've been seeing today too. It's been a pretty active day. How are we doing in the chat, guys? Let me know what you guys are trading and how your day's going. So far, pretty good here. We took a few little long scalps, had a chance to sit down in front of the charts for 20-30 minutes here. Saw a nice setup in RDW, little space name. Collected about 50 cents on that total. Micron took a nice scalp as well. That one was starting to play out like a W pattern. So we wanted to get involved for the potential of a much bigger move. We always love these big sweeps down into a higher low, consolidating at this neckline. So the consolidation there is when I wanted to play on the first breakout. Took profits, traded a little sloppy here, kind of averaged down and then sold when I was green again. Re-entered on a cleaner entry with a better cost basis there. So no red trades, but not my finest work there. Started nibbling too early and ended up with a full-size position right here and went and draw down a little bit, which shouldn't have done, but it did hold where it needed to, so got out there, rebased. So that's what I've been doing today. Some wild swings in the morning, and NVIDIA is trying to find its sea legs after a pretty gnarly afternoon session here. So what's interesting is NVIDIA is much weaker than memory in particular, but also much weaker than chips as a whole. Hey, Larry, not winning? Sorry to hear, man. It's been a tough one. A lot of choppiness. I've like we've seen, I've had to just take quick moves and really not get too greedy. It's been a tough one. Snowman asking about AMC. We can talk AMC. Real quick, though. This is semiconductors. These are semiconductors as a whole. Much stronger than NVIDIA, which is trading down here in a higher low. So definitely some strength to the sector overall, but I think that NVIDIA is just some de-risking into earnings. And as long as it doesn't break the low of the day, I think we're still going to see potential for this thing to really rip. We're going to be talking about what will be required for that to happen in just a few minutes. But yeah, let's take a few more chats from the comment, or charts from the comment section. Here's AMC. Barcoding. Whoa, something interesting happened with it. I think I recall hearing some news. It is trying its best to rally. So this is the kind of chart that I like. Oh, I don't like to say it, don't like to admit it, but I don't hate this. What it needs to do is break over this 160 level pretty definitively, though. What I see here is the potential for, you can call it a higher low, you can call it a cup and handle. But this could potentially try to break out and move significantly higher. It's a hard one to trust, though, isn't it, guys? This one's been a dilution machine, but we do see this high volume coming in right where this higher low has been formed. So not the worst chart ever. If you do look to play this, are looking to play this, what could we do? It does look like it is a flag. Ideally, it washes out to this 150 to retest that level. That's the previous prior high. It's the round number, and also it's the low part of the volume node. The idea here being, we're in a flag, everybody thinks it's going to go up, but what if before that it just sweeps down here and collects liquidity, stops people out who assume it's going to make the straight shot, collects people off of this level, off this low volume node, and then pushes up. So that's the area I'd be looking to play this. Meanwhile, Micron seems like it is working for us. Got an old order in the book, so whoops. Glad I checked that. So I'm going to put my stop right under that recent swing low. I'm going to actually give it a little bit more because that's a 725. That's a big high volume area. So I'll just give it right below there. I think this one might wiggle a little bit around, but should provide the proper structure for a push significantly higher. At the very least, into earnings, it's going to try to look like that. NVIDIA earnings could ruin that, but that is a future problem. We'll worry about that when we get there. Right now, NVIDIA is trying to high or low, double bottom here. If you wanted to get long for NVIDIA earnings, now's probably the time. We would like to see it confirm over this little swing high first. So what I'd like to see if you want to get long for NVIDIA earnings is a pop here and a back test there and then a push up. So I'll try to take a little couple share position just for fun if we do get this pattern. Looking strong so far. It's enough for me to take one on a little wick back. Oh, might not let me. I'll chase up a little bit on one share. If we're right, then we're still well within the base. Looks like it's not going to pull back at all and just surge out the top. So then we'll just keep our orders on the back test and see if we get filled. MU, nice candle there. All right, Snowman's talking about QUCY. This was a fun one earlier. Let's take a look at that one. Howdy, Tyler. What's going on, man? We had some good ones. Oh, QC. This one's setting up. This one's setting up nicely. We talked about how I got robbed, and I told Josh, well, you know what? I think now it's good to go for anybody else. I stopped looking at it, and lo and behold, there it goes. No worries there, and that's why I should have had my buy orders down here, not my stop. And that's what happens when you look at a chart too quickly sometimes. So this one's looking really constructive, a nice push up here. Going to the left, we're looking for other levels of interest, and we're going to go to a hourly chart for this. Really nice flag break. I like this. The one thing we don't want to see is it to fade, right, kind of at this pivot, because then it could be a head and shoulders, but to me it looks really strong. I don't think it is a head and shoulders. I think this is a kind of pivot somewhere right around here. We have this high that it pushed up into in cash session before rejecting. So there's a seller somewhere there. We also see it reject here, 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 right around in this before finally flushing. Maybe we could add this just a little lower, like that. So we're in this kind of do or die zone for it. We'd like to see a strong, powerful move above to sweep some of these upper levels here for cash session. And this recent high. Those are your targets up there. That's where liquidity is resting, as well as just the round number at $4. 3 levels for you there. To the downside, as long as it holds, let's find out. I should take some off this Micron trade. It's working real well. I don't want to get too greedy. Just trim here, just in case it fails. For the downside on QUCY, high volume node is at 323. You've got a swing low at $3. That's where I would expect all sellers to get absorbed as long as it is in an upward trajectory. More immediately, we'd like to see it just hold above this 350 level. And this intermediary swing high, or swing low, right there. Got filled on the Micron trim. That's always nice. Pay in the trader, loading that piggy bank. And it looks like we are also in one share of NVIDIA off the top of that one. So if it's for real, should oscillate around here a little, that's fine, but it should hold that low. And if we're wrong, we'll just wait. No rush. Put it just a little bit under. Mike Ryder in the house, and his eyes are crossed. Am I on the wrong side? Am I fooling you? This is the special new layout for our earnings stream here. So enjoy, feast your eyes in all its glory. I think QUCY is acting nice and constructive. It's still surfing off these moving averages, so that's acting really nice. And volume came in on this 365, forming a new pivot there to watch. As long as it acts like a beach ball underwater, if it does flash under this level, you should be in good shape. MU pushing on up and out. And I think it's just about time to start focusing on NVIDIA here. But before I take this off, I will put some higher time frame targets for this NVIDIA position. I'm sorry, this Micron position. I would take 10 shares off if we swept the pre-market highs. Take another 5 off at 750 if we did squeeze up there. Oops. And keep 5 for funsies. Okay, now let's talk NVIDIA. Hey, Pops Mafia. Do I ever look at international ETFs like VXUS? Not super often. Usually I check those out about quarterly just to kind of touch base on, unless I'm looking at playing one specifically. Usually I just want to kind of touch base on that on a quarterly basis. It's good information to have for sure. And, but usually I kind of look at this through proxies like, I'll be watching Chinese ETFs or the Latin American ETFs. But I don't watch that's XUS, right, as a whole. I watch that as much as I should. It is a good one to watch. Gives you a good idea of where money is flowing internationally, whether it's coming into the US or out. There's definitely good money to be made there. I've done well on China and Latin America in the past. So like I said, those are the ones that I like watching. I'm also liking this NVIDIA development here. It is for holding this higher low and starting to look like an ascending triangle. We can add a little bit into this just because we only have one share so far. Just watching it. Acting right. Try to get filled on a little wick back so we're not chasing too much. Oh, might leave us behind here. There we go. All right. And that's how you avoid kind of chasing when you know something's strong, but you don't want to just pay market because the spread might be a little bit wider than you like. You can just kind of nudge it up and see where that kind of spread is holding. And usually it'll flash back down and get you a little bit of a discount. But again, remember, if you're playing momentum, you got to be willing to be wrong and stop out if it loses the momentum that you're kind of playing with. That's the rules. So NVIDIA posting 2 bottom wicks on this 15-minute. I wanted to just kind of zoom out and look at the technical setup before we get into the fundamental setup. Got a little presentation for y'all, but let's talk charts first. We're looking at the 1 minute on the left here, 15-minute in the center, and we're going to go to zoom out a little bit. I'm actually going to start at a weekly on the right here. We're going to look at a daily in the center for now. Because high time frame context is very important. This is a very, very strong chart, guys, that hasn't run nearly as much as people think because it's a semiconductor. A lot of these names have gone much, much higher than NVIDIA, and really it's only up about, I think, 10% from last quarter? From last quarter's highs? 5%. It's trading around here for the majority of the time, this 185 handle, and it's only 16% lower. So this thing could easily see a really explosive move if it wants to, if we want to play catch up here. And that is going to depend on it beating the earnings consensus because it's definitely expected to beat. It has 13 times in a row, I believe. So we gotta really see impressive numbers to see an explosive rally, but that could carry the semiconductors with it all the way to the moon on a next big leg. We will have to see, though. I have been taking profits in semiconductors, so either I'll regret that or I'll feel pretty good about it after today. We will find out, guys. Let's go, says Carlo. Welcome. All right. Let's get into it, guys. We talked weekly. High time frame, very constructive. It can go higher as long as it holds, in my book, this kind of 200 level. That's where the 9-week EMA is. We have the 193, the 21-week coming in at 195 there. So call it 195 to 200 is where I'd really like to see a stick if we do get a dump. That being said, on the daily here, and I'm going to pull this full screen, I think this is very healthy. We're kind of just stair-stepping on up. I like that we essentially came back, retested this level while all other semiconductors were really ripping. And from there, we've tried to play catch-up, but even recently are pulling back and just providing a really low-risk entry for anybody who wants to play. Because you see this 9 moving average, this is acting as support just on the first back test there, which is what you really like to see. Similarly to off this strong breakout, it based for a while, was looking a little bit weak as volume dried up, but then as soon as it got a chance to be bought off of this moving average, where you can instantly say, okay, I'm going to buy right off there, there's going to be other people with me, it's going to bounce, and then you immediately can put your stop under that on the day. So that provides a really safe way to manage risk, and you see the market was just looking for that. And sure, it got overbought, but at the end of the day, it came back and it's still playing nicely off these moving averages. So for my systems, this thing is still looking good. Of course, earnings can easily change any positive trajectory, so we got to keep that in mind. But zooming in a little bit more, again, I'm just liking that it is seeming like it wants to catch over where it opened. You can see it's posting a doji to so far, and it's given the potential to run up into a nice little bit of a hammer. If you can get a bullish bid up to 225, 226, 227, anywhere in there would be really nice. So just something to consider. On a higher time frame, I was saying it could come all the way back to this 195, 200 level, but really you don't want to see that if you want the momentum and the rally to continue. I think the worst that we'd want to see is a dip to this 213 and this high volume at 210. I see a little imbalance there as well. So if we mark that out, we have this kind of imbalance right in alignment with the moving average. This is an area you could look to buy the dip at, maybe just under this 215 handle, since you have a little low volume node there. So if we do get a washout and I stop out of this initial position quite quickly, well, then we will be able to look for a dip buy here, I do believe. I'm also just seeing my Micron position going a little ham here. I do got to manage that one. Probably time to move my stop up. Don't want to give all that back now. I do want to let it come back into this moving average. The moving average is here along with this fair value gap, because that's an area where it could look for a little bit of a wick back. It doesn't have to hold the previous swing high perfectly. It rarely does, especially on a high volatility stock. It can undercut and then come back. But as long as it holds this area where we pushed off from, I want to be in the trade. Okay, now back to NVIDIA. Yeah, I think it's still looking pretty healthy. It's just playing some games here. Not going to worry too much about it. Just watching, waiting, and I'm actually going to put the stop under the low of the day, or this push low here at least. And last thing here, a little bit of space pull back there. Do want to check just in on that sector very quickly. Yeah, ASTS trying to break out. We took a little bit of a scalp attempt here, looking for a push higher. That one did not work out. Took a $10, $20 stop loss there, I think. Nothing too bad, but this is acting not bad high time frame, maybe a little tired intraday. Keeping an eye on that, as well as Micron off of these moving averages. All right, so we talked weekly, we talked daily. Let's get into the fun stuff, guys. What is it doing intraday? And how can we play this? So middle chart's now 15 minutes. We're going to go to an hourly on the right. And we just want to get a nice little perspective here on where the stock could go based on the time frames we're looking at. I am hoping that this is a nice rounded bottom here, and we can at least attempt to push up to this 230 handle. So let's look at this. Decent zone there too. Something like that. Yeah, somewhere around that 215. It's a couple levels here of interest, actually. All right, but question is this going to be strong enough? I do see our oscillator on the hourly just looking a little bit heavy, but of course it is just kind of wait and see mode. And I wonder if the worse it looks into earnings, the more of a chance it really has to kind of push up and use that liquidity that it's grabbed during the cash session here to just propel itself upward. Because if we really look at this on a high time frame, I'm not seeing that much weakness, and I'm kind of just seeing a little bit of a inverted head and shoulders even with this pullback here. Being the right shoulder, there's the head, and a little left shoulder action, just possibly. But in general, it's respecting this big area where it pushed up and off from. So I'd like to give it the benefit of the doubt and see that it can use the springboard down here as kind of a spring to really surge up and get all the shorts out of this position up on through to this 230 is where I'd look for the upside. One last thing we can look for levels here. Going to pull out a fib. And yeah, that 230 is the level that I was hoping, right at this middle area. That is definitely an area where there's going to be sellers. And that's looking like about, it's only 3% to the upside. So this is just where it might bounce really quickly before making a higher time frame decision. But I would like to see this level get tagged and digest before pushing up and higher. I see we have a visitor, perhaps. Whenever you're ready, just give me a holler and I can pull you on. Here's the door. And here he is.
What's going on? So we're all here for e.l.f. Beauty's earnings, right? That's the
Absolutely.
That's the big headline.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued. That's where I get on all my makeup. So it's important for the Peter Lynch investor that I am to stay up to date,
or whatever ENS is. So I just looked. I'm like, is there anything else reporting? I'm like, no, nothing anyone cares about.
Well, Michael, we do have one on the radar here, and that is a little company called NVDA. You heard of this one?
Oh, I think I heard about that. That's just like what, 10% of the index or something? That's just a little
something like that.
A little tiny thing.
I think they make clouds. Who knows? The internet these days, right? So
we're going to be of tubes.
Exactly. Who's to say what's going on there? I've heard things as crazy as it's a scam, as it's a circular money printing rotational scheme. I've heard a lot of things. Michael, is it a scam? Is this the real deal?
Yeah. The one thing people need to know about black swan events in the market is that they're black swans for a reason. Like, I don't know what's going to cause the next bear market, neither do you, because if we did, it would already be priced in and it wouldn't cause the next. So I hear this all the time that this is, the .com bubble all over again and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, again, the fact that we're hearing that so much, like by definition means it's like very low chance that that's actually the case, that we get. Does maybe AI cool off a bit and the market pulls back like 10, 20% maybe. But when people say .com bubble, they forget that was like a 60+% drawdown in the market. It looked like end times. And then it did it again a couple of years later with the great financial collapse. So I just don't think we're in a world where it really, might be date very poorly, but I don't think we're in a world where any of that happens anymore because people have just gotten way more intelligent at running businesses. Like we've gotten better as a society, and the market's just got so big that we see days where NVIDIA and semiconductors and everything are down big and the market does fine because this rotation and everything is just kind of so split out and diversified. So I don't know.
Michael, would you say would it be safe to say that we're too big to fail at this point?
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, I'm here for this. So in NVIDIA, I do think that just in the same kind of spirit, the more bearish it looks today, the more bullish I personally am. Do you think that's wishful thinking? Is that copium, or am I on the right track there?
I don't know. I'm actually, as we speak, pricing up a put spread, a bullish put spread to sell. To maybe capture some of this, because I went through. I know you were probably snoozing, but I did a thing on the early stream, and just showing. If you go back on the last like 4 NVIDIA earning reports, it was some sort of gap up and then crap, and then a gap up and then crap. Just did it like 4 or 5 times in a row. So that's going to continue. I can take the gap up, take the premium stock and go from there. But I'm such a contrarian that I'm like, if I've noticed this, then everyone else has probably noticed this, and we're probably not going to have that. So maybe a gap down in a rally, or maybe it just kind of does nothing and rips. But yeah, I'm just looking at this. I think that was actually what caused the last couple days of a sell-off might be people getting gun shy into earnings, because you had a big rip up, and then as earnings come, they kind of get the PTSD of, yeah, things aren't looking too great right now. And I remember what happened last time, because it wasn't last time, but I think it was a time before that where it gapped up 5% and closed like down 5% on the day, just complete wipeout of a move. And yeah, I just think there's so many people out there that are so gun shy that it's like, maybe we maybe we don't maybe we're worried about that. But I'm looking, and right, if I do the let's say the 220, where's the 220? No, yeah, 220, where that's like pretty much right at the money. What if I say, I think the expected move was a little bit wider. So if I do like the 205, where are we? 205 puts, you get what, 93 cents, 94 cents for selling them. So that's
something right there.
Yeah, that's $1,000 per contract. And then I'm thinking of, you go down a little further so I can sleep at night. Then you go maybe to like the 195, and then you buy that. And then you have this nice spread where, max profit is, that can't be right. It's saying max profit's $932 and max loss is $68. So, I did that opposite. That's why. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. Let's do that opposite. I'm selling the 205 call, and then I'm buying, say, the 195, because the max loss that for 10 points should be, there we go, complete opposite. Max profits, $68. Max loss is $1,000. That still doesn't seem right. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for, is just saying, hey, can I do a little bit of a put selling here around 205, and as long as we close above 205 in 2 days, I'm good. And maybe do that, 5 or 10 times, see if I can rake in like $1,000 or something.
I like it. I mean, yeah, what are the odds really that we're going to flush out all the way past 200? I think that would take a really ugly, like an actual miss, which hasn't happened in like years. I mean, 13 quarters. So I think that it's pretty safe to bet that they're not going to miss. And it's just really about what the earnings whisper is, and just how close to, or how much we can actually exceed that, that kind of bar that's higher than what they're expecting, higher than what the, inline guide would be. Yeah. So that's where my head's at. And I think it's probably pretty likely they have great earnings, but not insanely greater than expectations. And we might even pull back a little.
And the thing I always like about this kind of strategy is that, okay, so worst case scenario, say I just sell them naked, which I might do, right? You sell the you sell the puts naked. Well, worst case scenario, I own Nvidia at 205 minus what I'm going to collect in premium. So I own it at like 204 or so. I'm like, would that really be the worst thing in the world? Right? If I come down here and I kind of take that trade, and that's what I end up getting, and I own 500 shares of Nvidia.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. Oh, we have a guest.
Yeah, I'd be all right with that.
Hi, Jane. How you doing?
Doing well. Busy day here. I'm thinking, earlier this morning, I was looking at NVIDIA and saying, hey, if we are able to close above 225, that's it. I'm a bull, like no doubt, right? Obviously, we're not there. I also have, let me pull up. Let's see if I can share this up above, change my setup a little bit. I'm sitting now. Afternoon, time to sit.
Love it.
So I'll share with you guys all of the bigger money that has been popping in today or out, right? But we have a lot that has happened today. Can you guys see it okay?
Yeah, it looks great.
All right. So everything that's in this orange is today, right? So 223 up to 225.50 are big heavy hitters, up at 224.35. So I'm looking, we had 6 million at 220, 6.2 million, almost at 220.61. So we are definitely above that, but you know what? I'm feeling like this is not as certain as I was this morning. This morning, I was like, you know what? This is beautiful, nice bull flag up, right? Like this, right? Like bull flag, boom, up, down, and potentially up above 225. And we are above 12 million. All of the other major prints above 5 million are below us. So right now, it's looking not so pretty right now. We saw that, our oil numbers came in with a bigger draw today. Is that going to drive the cost up of everything for us, including all the semis? So I think this is going to be quite interesting. But we also have the seasonality right here. Seasonality is to the upside. So I'd say I'm about 80% bullish for today going into it.
I like it. Well, I love you're mentioning the kind of push and pull between the oil market here, because personally, I mean, I'm a chart artist, technician guy, kind of first. I like the crayons, and for me, going through things this weekend, oil charts were looking phenomenal to me. I was seeing, long-term patterns on the verge of breaking out, back testing, and pushing up again out into new highs at some, for some names like Valero, Chevron, pretty close. And when the leaders in that space are telling me something, I want to listen. Then again, we're seeing a lot of headline, back and forth here today, and that's been popping my oil shares down, popping my natural gas plays down. Am I still sticking with it? I am. Am I feeling nervous? I am. So I'm not sure which way this is going, but whenever I see these kind of tests of faith into a print where it's like, well, you better believe in the company, you better have some kind of data, like you're saying, you're pulling from so many different corners to build this hypothesis. Like you need that to go into this with conviction. Otherwise, I think it's a great time to use your trade the pool account. That's what I'm doing because I do not have their conviction. Either way, it's going to be fun.
Do you want to see my spaghetti chart, Steve?
No
one else was excited about my spaghetti chart, but I know Steve would be excited about my spaghetti chart. So this is just this is the last four earnings reports, right? So if anyone's new to spaghetti chart, just basically this is each line is NVIDIA's and this line is the earnings date. And this is what happened to NVIDIA the last four times after earnings, right? You can see gap up actually, but this is a closing basis, so it doesn't show that. But in most cases, it was a gap up and then an immediate kind of sell down for the last four times that have taken place there. So that to me, more than anything, is kind of the telling. And this is why, I'm selling these puts because I'm such a contrarian. Because if it happened four times in a row, there's no way it can happen five times in a row, right? That's not how math works. But just shows that, right, there we have this history of gapping up and selling and gapping up and selling. And I wonder if that just, like we were talking about earlier, has people so spooked that this time we're going to do the complete opposite, in which we're just going to rip or gap down and rip or something like that. But then again, that's what happens most time. I actually took the trade. I actually did, just because I'm a DGen and it required way less buying power, I did NVDL. So I sold NVDL 100 puts, just naked.
Oh, you're naked selling puts on a leveraged ETF into earnings. Yeah. My kind of guy.
a little DGen action there. But the beauty of it, again, for people, just so you know, it's like worst case scenario, I own NVDL. I own like 500 shares of NVDL at like $99, $98.50 or so when I got it. If we end up trading way down there, and I was like, I'll take those, right? And if I have to trade out of them, if we break down, that's fine. I just know there's roughly, based off the move I calculated, there is roughly a 70-ish% chance I just wake up tomorrow $1,000 richer and I close a trade and kind of move on. Then I know that means there's a 30% chance that these things end up getting exercised and I'm forced to buy a bunch of these shares, right? So Mainly, what I'm hoping for, obviously, is a gap up or at least a move. As long as it's above $100, I'll basically be fine. Where it's gonna get that volatility contraction, which happens every time after earnings, because the puts that I'm selling, you can look at it this way: is that I'm the insurance company now. I'm selling insurance to other people who are using these leveraged options to buy insurance in worry that Nvidia is going to go down. I am willing to sell them that insurance for an insurance premium, and if the catastrophic thing does not happen and Nvidia does not fall apart, I get to keep my insurance premium, which I'll exit for whatever tomorrow off the open will give me, and move on with my day. And just like an insurance company, most of the days you don't get in a car accident, right? Every now and then you get in a car accident. They got to pay out a bunch of money. So that's how these kind of strategies work. And I like them because they're the complete and polar opposite of what I normally do, which is more, directional bets and things like this. This is kind of as long as we're above 99 in 2 days, I'm good. If we're below that, then again, I got assigned and I own these things and I got to figure out what to do with them when I do it.
I'll give them to your kids. They'll appreciate them someday. You know?
if it was the real shares, maybe. If it was the leverage ones, I don't know.
Hey, well, they'll get something probably, maybe. What I will say is they're 2x levered instead of the 3x. So at least you're not doing this on Soxel, you know? So there is a lot of
Oh,
math
I didn't
behind
think
it.
of that.
Oh, no, I'm giving them
I should have done that
No.
on Soxel. But
Okay,
just like with
you're being
anything
hard.
leveraged, it's in the morning show we pound the table on this all the time. Leverage should not mean I didn't take 2 times the risk because it's a leverage contract, right? I used
Right.
1/2 the buying power because it's a leveraged, and that's how you should use these things. You should look at them as not, hey, I can take way more risk and potentially make way more money or get slapped much harder. I should look at these as I can take the same risk and I can just use way less of my buying power. So when I was looking at it, it was going to be about what I wanted to do was like $59,000 or $60,000 worth of buying power was going to tie up, and this one tied up. Where is it? It's on here. It tied up 20 something thousand of buying power. I went a little bit further out of the money, but so I could. Again, same trade, same risk, same all that. I just use way less buying power, and that's good. That means you can take more bets, more smaller bets across more instruments, and if you have an edge, that should be your goal: is to take a lot of little tiny bets all over the place, and then profit that way.
Absolutely. I love it. Sorry, I was making sounds over here because I was watching NVIDIA. It started to break out. It back tested. I was trying to get filled on an ad. I did not, but it's looking really nice. And there we
Yeah.
see. So there's our cost
Okay,
basis.
who's
sitting
the
right at this
DGen
neckline.
now? Listen,
yeah.
at least I'm doing like a long term, like a day. I've got a bunch of cushion. I've got the stock has to move 10% before I'm worried. You're just YOLOing shares right into the report. So
No, no, no,
so
no, no,
one
no.
of
Look,
us here is being a DGen. It's not me.
sir, look who's just taking profit as soon as this. Please don't jinx myself. Look who's taking profit, guys. This is responsible degeneracy. Simply, or much like you selling puts to even bigger degenerates who need puts on a leveraged ETF. Like the regular ones aren't enough. And so look,
they're
I
not,
manage
though.
my risk. So who's the real degenerate? The guy with an open buy order still, probably, actually. So we're going to do that and move our stop up to break even. So now we're good. Now he can't make fun of us.
Well, that's another way that I know of people out there who trade these events, right? A buddy of mine does this all the time. He just calls them stink bids, where he'll just sit and he'll put bids. He'll start like feathering in bids in NVIDIA, in maybe like the 215s and the 205s and the 200s and the 285s and 270. Just like I'm going to layer a whole bunch of bids in an average price that I'd be comfortable with, but some like really low, right? It's just, I don't know why they're called stink bids, but that's just how I always heard them referred to. And the idea is that if you get this incredibly crazy out of the money print, which we've seen happen all the time on earnings, sometimes you're just flipping that thing out for a 5, 10, 20 point profit in a few minutes. And all it cost you was buying power and sitting here for a little bit as the report. So this guy, he does these bracketing, and the second earnings reports get close, he's putting out kind of buy and sell bids just way out of the money. And then he just sits there, and if something enters his account, he's just trying to scalp that out right away. And it's not like that's not going to make a living doing that, but it adds like a little bit to your bottom line, makes you a couple bucks here or there.
It's entertainment. It's a lot of fun.
I want to get you guys to also look at mags, because mags right now is showing us that it's got some strength to it, right? That is this, the mag 7 is still moving up, and is this something that we really need to look at, because this is going to help to drive the market, not just NVIDIA today, but when we look at the mag 7, we look at a bigger time frame, we can see that we've had a retracement and it's advancing, and maybe it's giving us that signal, much like the seasonality, much like the selling of the puts from Michael, that this is going to continue to move to the upside. What are your thoughts, Jesse? We've been sharing a bit.
Yeah, no, I was reading actually earlier. I was just going to say my tidbit is I was reading an article just a little while ago that not only, of course, is the whole market right now looking at NVIDIA, but specifically there are 80 ETFs that are heavily allocated to NVIDIA as well. So very concentrated with those ETFs. That's a huge amount. So I'm going to be, obviously the whole market, it's contingent on what NVIDIA does tonight, but I was kind of amazed on how many ETFs there are that are riding on NVIDIA's earnings tonight.
Absolutely. It's all our parents' Roths and, retirement accounts that are getting passive inflows into these names, in these Mag 7 names, into NVIDIA too. So this is not just a degen gamer company anymore. They're in the big leagues.
That's right.
So, guys, I did want to ask. We have about 20 minutes left, so I want to make sure we get to everything we want to talk about. What levels are you looking to clear to the upside to really set off the squeeze, so to speak? Do you, anybody have any in mind?
It's got to be all-time highs, right?
25.50 for me.
25.50.
That's got to be right. The thing that will get the thing that will get it noticed in the news and talked about in CNBC and all these things that get, like we talked about, the boomers all hyped, is right, those all-time highs. So if it can get through those all-time highs and it can start to it can start to break those all-time highs, and more importantly, like we just talked about, close above. Like we went through, if you go through the last handful, and if you haven't already, Steve, let me know and I can go through them again. I know I did this morning, of just what happened here on these different earnings. It's like gap and crap city. Yeah. So I think even more important than the open tomorrow is the close. So right, this is the last one. This wasn't too bad, but it opened like near flat and then just fell apart all day. Then the one before that was a 5% gap up, and then it closed down like 5% on the day. This candle is huge. Here's for people who use candles instead of bars. But yeah, like look at the size of that
overnight
candle.
Action was to the upside. Yeah. So we're going to see if they will continue that trend of the overnight action, which is going to lend to crazy futures this evening. But definitely make sure you guys are clicking on that link for the NVIDIA earnings stream giveaway. We need to have that. We need to have your price action, your price prediction in before 5 p.m. So make sure that you are clicking on the link, entering yourself in the competition.
That's right.
And so this one is... This one's up. This was the one before. I just want to go through a couple more, right? It didn't gap up, but it closed about flat and then fell apart over the next week. Then this one gapped up and then sold off over the next 2 days. It's insane how this works. This one gapped up huge, sold off that day, and then tanked. So it has like a very distinct pattern. This one here gapped up, sold off that day, continued the next couple of days. So this isn't just a today thing. This one actually gapped down. So this isn't just a today thing. We got to watch this thing, I think, going into the end of the week. And if we're able to hold there into the end of the week, I think that's the most important. So step one is a gap up. Then step two is a hold that, especially because it's all-time highs, where you can have these all-time highs that just like we close above there. We hang out there for some period of time. So the closing daily candle tomorrow, I think, is hugely important. And then the closing weekly candle. If both of those clear all-time highs and close at all-time highs, then I think we're all well and good. But I'm worried, and I think the whole market is just another fake out. Like, we gap up tomorrow, and then we just do what I just showed you for the last like year and a bit, where we just we smoke everyone, right?
If you were swinging this, Michael, would you, if it gaps up at a certain point, would you take that trade and then maybe wait for tomorrow, maybe the day after? What is tomorrow? So tomorrow's Thursday, then Friday. Would you, if you were swinging this, would you only hold it then because of historical information at this point and say, hey, even if we gap up, I don't necessarily believe you. We might just trickle on down.
Yeah, so I sold puts right before you got here. I sold puts on an NVDA, and that's my game plan. Is tomorrow I'm going to put out a bid to get out of them, probably at 50% or so profit, and if I can get that, I'm gonna walk away. And I worry that there's somewhat of a self-fulfilling prophecy out there. Mm-hmm. If we gap up, does the whole world go, okay, I've seen this story before? Right, I've got my gap up. Let's go. Let's run for the doors, and by doing that, sells it down, and we just end up doing the same thing over and over again. I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe something that we end up, we end up breaking the trend at some point. But what can he say? Like, you better believe that every analyst firm on the street has 10 interns, and they will be able to tell you what this guy's had for lunch every day, like how regular his bowel movements are. Like, they're following this guy everywhere. What can they do? And this reminds me of Apple back in the day. Before the iPhone, no one really cared about Apple, but quickly after the iPhone, they were like, analysts were predicting to the phone how many things would come out, and Apple just stopped moving after earnings because they became so big and so important that they were covered so much by analysts that there was no meat, there was no beat, there was no. Now it's like the iPhone 17 comes out and we already know what the 18 looks like, and they have the models for it, and they know how much it's going to sell for, and they know there's a folding phone, I guess, coming out at the end of this year, and they've known it 4 years ago. So I like, how much can they do? Like, how much more can NVIDIA surprise people, I guess, is the way I'm thinking about it.
I just want to know
how many NVIDIA
leather jackets that Jensen has. He always wears the same exact black leather jacket. It's always the same one. I wonder if he has like 20, 30 of them in his closet. They're the exact same ones. And he just
that was Jobs, right? He was famous of saying I want to save all of my decision making for stuff that matters, and that's why he wore the same jeans and turtleneck every day. So it's like multi-billionaire, and you open his closet, it's just a bunch of jeans and turtlenecks, so he doesn't have to. I think it's the same way, except probably looking way cooler than turtleneck than in that cool leather jacket anyway.
Sorry for interrupting, Jane. Go ahead.
Oh, no worries. Not a problem at all. What I was going to say is, Michael and I in the mornings have talked about how Bitcoin is so heavily institutionally invested. NVIDIA, like you were saying, Jesse, it's got 80,000, sorry, not 80,000, correction, 80 ETFs that are looking at it. And maybe that's where Bitcoin is going, 80,000. I don't know. Maybe that came out for that reason. But anyway, it's got so much invested in it. Is it truly going to have that crazy volatility now? Or is this a type of thing where it's going to move, but it's not going to be as dramatic as it used to be? Maybe we'll see it move up, but not going to be a super spectacular one like some others that we've seen, and some lower floats and smaller caps like Poet recently, right? Is it going to really give that much of a return through? It will affect the market because it is so much of a big player, but is it such a big player that it's going to be underwhelming?
I think it is. I think it's like there's no way that he's working on something or that they've sold way more chips than everyone's thought, because it's kind of like how we always know what's going on with the petroleum reserve, because there's like satellites that watch from space and they measure how, like, there's a lid on the top that goes up and down, and the hedge funds have paid billions of dollars to watch these things all over the world, and with like the Strait of Hormuz, how they're watching from space to see what ones go through. I think it's the same thing. This is why you get big edge in small cap companies, because they're just, no one's following them and no one really cares that much. But when you have this is again 8% or something of the overall index, everybody is watching. So there's no way he sold like an extra, a $20 billion worth of chips and nobody noticed, right? You have one of the most famous things that Jeff Mackey, as a guy I met a couple times, and he invests solely in retail. His father was like a higher up at Target, so his whole thing is retail. He will go and just pay people to walk through stores like Lululemon and whatever, just to count how many people are in it and all that kind of stuff. And that's like very unsophisticated hedge fund stuff. Very sophisticated hedge fund stuff is they've paid a guy to camp outside and count the amount of trucks that come and go from every single factory all the time. So I just think, I think you're right, Jane, where this is just so followed that unless the guy like faints on stage or something, I just don't think we have like these colossal moves that we have on NVIDIA anymore. Now that means that if I think that, so does probably the rest of the street. So if something does happen, we could get like a wild move that no one's expecting.
I love it. Speaking of which, just for anybody watching my little candles here, while you've been given some great information there, I've been staring at 1 minute candles. We did get a little sell off there. I got stopped out of my position for break even on the runners, but hey, it looked like a bottom wick, so I got right back in, and this is right back up to the top of the range. So still planting my flag, holding those 5 shares, Michael. It's not much, but it's honest work, and I want to have some skin in the game for this report.
So what time do you think? Because I asked Perplexity, and it said, I don't know. But in the last couple, I guess it was around 420. And I don't know if that's a joke, but the dude actually reports around 420, I guess, for the memes. It seems like that's more of a Tesla thing to do than an NVIDIA thing to do. Yeah. But that's, so I'm just wondering when we're going to get it. So I don't know if anyone's got like any active news feeds, but I think price will tell us. There's so many algos and everything that watch it, that price will move the second the number hits the street.
I'm looking for 420. That's what I was told. What did you hear, Jane?
Well, I was gonna talk in a different direction though about insider selling. I got curious. Sometimes that'll give us some snippets as to maybe what's going on. But right now, the most recent sells that we have had have been the end of March. You can see this is just from secform4.com. And you can see that there has not been any buying except for back roughly, we'll call it June of 23. It's just been sells, and it doesn't seem to correlate with the earnings, right? Our last earnings was back here roughly, come on, pop up here for me, on the 25th of February. So we didn't have any selling corresponding, but the sells actually happened just before this giant rip. So it seems like the insiders are not telling us, hey, we're taking money out before the earnings, which they would know, right? They're going to know if it's going to tank or if there's poor earnings. They have to report that, but they don't typically seem to be selling beforehand. So I like the fact that we pulled back almost to our 15 EMA. We're closing up above the 4 EMA, hopefully above 223.45. So I'm still going bull. Jesse, what are you thinking? Are you thinking bull still? Bear?
Yeah, no, I am bullish on it, actually. Yeah, and I heard you even this morning, you gave your number, I think was 225. I've noticed NVIDIA continues, this has maybe nothing to do with earnings, but I've noticed it continually goes back to this point at 220. It likes this 220 zone. It's right in there. It'll drop to 217, 218, and then a few minutes later, I'll look back at it. It's one of the large caps I look at daily, and it likes that 220 little zone. So yeah, 225 would be a good case for being bullish. Yeah, I don't exactly yet at the moment have a specific price in mind. But I think 225 does sound good, as I have noticed 220 it is just hovered at for the last 2 weeks or so.
And you guys can see this sort of fuchsia dotted line where it's sort of bounced off of that area right there. That's my 33 exponential moving average. So I find that many times, many of these larger cap stocks will bounce off of it and hold. You can see back here, it happened again, April 23rd. Then once it goes below, it acts as resistance. But once we're up above, that's it. It's it's almost a crossover indicator for me with price action. When it's above, we're going bullish. When we're below, it's going bearish. So a close below it at 221.75, that would lead me to believe, yeah, forget it. We're going down.
Jane, did you say a 33 moving average?
I did. I like 33 EMA, 45-minute time chart, and 90-minute. I like the multiples of 3.
Interesting.
Nice.
So, okay, 2 things jump out at me. First off, I love the secret sauce for our viewers here. Guys, don't sleep on this. This is great info. Personally, for me, I use the 27 EMA, but that's so close. I think we're
3.
Yeah, something there we go. Something there. Another thing is, do you happen to be well, I'm very interested in that 45-minute, and especially combined with the 90. Is that something GAN related? Because I know he loves those numbers. Anything there?
No, it's actually some algos have been written on the 45-minute time frame. And so that's why I see we've got Nigel and Michael. Michael's also talking about 9, 20, 50, and 200. So first off, welcome to all the new viewers as well. If you guys are brand new joining us, make sure you click on the link. And what's your favorite EMA and your favorite time frame? Because that is something that, hey, we're all here to learn from each other and profit as well. So make sure that you guys share that and see. But I've noticed 425 as well. Jesse, I think you use a 420. Is that correct? I use a 425, just a 425 EMA. Why? Because I've seen that it works. Just like on my regular trading view chart, I have a lot of different moving averages because algorithms have been written off of them. Certain ones are more powerful than the others. 90 will be pretty powerful for earnings, right? That makes sense. 90 days and earnings season. So many times it will get stopped at a 90 moving average, pulling back to an entry.
That makes so much sense if you think about it from an institutional perspective, because you just want one line on your chart that lets you know, how's this company doing quarter to quarter, right? And what can tell you that better than something that looks back one quarter and draws you that line? That's such a great way to look at moving averages that I think a lot of people kind of forget, because they're just like, it's just like pattern recognition. It's like, oh, the 9 and the 20, like those are great. Don't get me wrong, but what's actually happening? Why are they so effective? So the 20, for example, there's roughly 20 trading days in a month. Well, lo and behold, that acts as the equilibrium on whatever time frame you're looking at. That acts as the middle point in Bollinger Bands or Keltner channels. So yeah, I nerd out about that stuff super much. So I love that you're bringing that into the conversation, Jane.
Yeah, and it's also studying the charts, playing around. Okay, if I put this EMA on, like here it is on a 45-minute, we can see that this has slowly used the 33 as a resistance point. Now we had the inflection yesterday, and we've moved up above it. Or it's correction, today's the 20th. It's been a long day. It moved up above it, bounced off of it, and now we're holding just above it. So are we going to continue to see that we use this as support, or will it just be, hey, you know what, forget it. We're kicking the bucket. On the bigger time frame, it looks like we're using it as support. This is a 6 right here, a 6 hour. And then 3 hour.
Because I love the 4. And so if I love the 4, well, half of 4 is good too. Just tack that on. There you go.
Right.
By the way,
how about you, Jesse? What's your favorite one? You use 425 and what else?
Actually, I use the 9, the 20, the 50, and the 200 typically. Those are my EMA moving averages.
It's a good set. I like that.
I'd like that. And Michael DeRider says, "Let's get drunk." I don't know, Michael. It's Wednesday. I don't. I'm not going for that one. But you have
I
fun.
still have mom duty after this. I can't do that. I got to go drive to tutoring.
And
All
Jane,
right, guys.
go ahead.
I will
Steve.
crack a beer for y'all if we hit 300. Okay.
There you go.
Market's about to close.
That'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, right there.
Right.
And we got another 20 minutes to go. See
Real
if there's
quick.
any leaks or whatever.
Real quick, I'd love to just pop on over while we have just 1 second to talk about the level that I think is going to be pretty pivotal here. I'm really looking at this 228. The 228 is what I want to see to really get the bottle rocket going. It's going to just be a little bit, oh, whoops, I'm not showing my chart as well. Regardless, based on what I was seeing on the options chain, I think that through 228, we could see the start of a little bit of a gamma squeeze type action where the market makers are forced to kind of buy on up with all of these call buyers if we're able to hold over that level. So we'll see 228, call it 228 to 230 perhaps, but that's the level that I'm going to be really watching. And I think it opens the door for 245 to 260 in not too long at all. So keep an eye on there.
I'm opening
looks
up
like
some of these other charts just in case. I'm opening up some like e.l.f. and then I know Intuit. We joked about e.l.f., but if we're still waiting and there's nothing going on, we might want to take a look at that. It is a company, so maybe it's something. Man, Intuit already. Ooh, not good. INTU. So this is a software name and did a huge spike. This is what the whole stink bid, stink offer thing I was talking about. I don't know what the volume was up there, but if you had like a 405 offer, you probably would have gotten dinged in some. While one algo had a bad day, did something wrong, and now this thing's kind of completely fallen apart here. So these are, I think it's what tax software. Isn't that what these guys do?
Yes, they are. Maybe a tough business to be in at the moment.
I was about to say, right? There's some things that I don't see getting replaced by AI anytime soon. That's like cybersecurity and things like that. But I could definitely see something in AI where you just upload. Right, let me upload, whatever statements. For us, it's like T4s and T5s. I think it's like a bunch of numbers into it, and then just have it say, here, what do I owe for taxes? And away you go.
Well, Michael, I just want to give you your flowers and surreptitiously pat myself on the back because we've both been saying that you're not going to vibe code cybersecurity. Well, guess what joined the rally a couple weeks ago?
I know. We were
Want to pull up CrowdStrike there or something like that?
Well, and I did some CrowdStrike, but I mainly did Hack, which is just, for those who don't know, it's just an ETF. I've been buying Hack as it's been kind of breaking out of these 80s as just a decent way to go through and do this. But this Intuit, just getting in, and obviously interrupt me if the big guy reports earning, but this is getting woodshed at this point. Just
if you're looking at it on a day, we're hitting a triple bottom right now. So it might be that fishing for an entry. The low is 342.11 for the year so far.
Jane, I was always told there's no such thing as a triple bottom. That's just a level that's about to fall out. Are you calling BS on that?
Could be that third test. Yeah, the third and the fourth and the fifth test are always going to be less buyers, right? But maybe those algos are going to hold it up, and they were buying at that level.
And we should call this out. Snowman says, Mike is king. Sign up for Stats Edge training. So we at least
well, I'm not going to say that. But,
that's why I'm calling it out. That's why I'm saying it for you.
I certainly won't.
Snowman's
we got to lift each other up.
There you go.
But yeah,
that's how you know it's good.
The obvious, you're right, the potential kind of triple bottom here. It makes sense if that's the area that we're going to hang out in. The only thing I look at is after hours, you're not going to be able to do a stop run, obviously, because there's no stops after hours, right? So, unless you can hold it down there like all night and into tomorrow, then yeah, maybe. But there is a little bit of a bounce going on there. That one got smoked. I don't know if e.l.f. moved some. I don't know if this is enough to. This was a crazy one back in the day. But it's a perfect example of have a plan to stick with the trend when you can, because it went from 20 to 200 pretty much in a straight line, and now it's back down to 50. So if you made hay while the sun shine, you were able just to hold on and have some sort of kind of trail, then you did great. And then now if you're someone who's trying to get in, it might be a little more problematic. But this one's got earnings, and again, just open. It's got this prior low that it's at right now. Oh no, now it reported earnings. Probably. Whoa. Now we got the big candle.
There she goes.
And I'm liking Nvidia at the moment, because with the close we've hit above 224. It's dropped a little bit, but it is fighting, and the 15-minute candle looks healthy at the moment.
Yeah, it looks nice. I was just doing that too, looking at different time frames. But on my 5-minute, I see we've got we're stuck in the spaghetti sauce of moving averages. So really, until we go above either 224.20 or below 222.50, 222.34, we're stuck in the traffic box of moving average algos.
I love it. That's my exact level that I'm watching to the downside, Jane. That big shelf on the little time frames, let's say. That's where I'm looking for kind of the line of defense. If this thing wants to hold, what I'm seeing is a potential intraday double bottom, higher low, ready to rip pattern. So fingers crossed. I'm still holding my 10 shares from what is it?
It was
just
5
under
shares a little bit ago.
Well, things happen, Michael. There were developments. We took some profit. We got back in. What can you say? We're traders. We're trading.
We're traders. That's what we do.
You can't tell me not to push buttons. You guys are giving me more and more information that's framing my bets. I'm using this information in real time to inform my decisions and pick up 5 more shares. That's all. What can I say? I like the stock, and so does the market so far. We got 14 minutes till the print, and I will be on red alert looking for those numbers for y'all.
See, I always, again, it might be superstition, but I always like the drop first, right? If we can tank it out a bit. And we should just take a minute to say this is the beauty. We can do this kind of stuff because we're not trading our own money with them. We're trading someone else's money. So it's a lot easier to take, trades going into earnings and more aggressive, I guess the best way to put it, trades. And that's what we do over Trade the Pool. So if you're interested, come and stop by, right? Take one of our evals. If you pass, you've got an account to trade with of real money that we will give you and kind of split it and go from there. Someone's asking, what's the report? Not out yet. Again, previously, we don't know, but previously it seemed to hit around 420. So we're probably, 13 or so minutes out. They have their conference call at 5. I don't think that will matter too much, but that, oh man, we're going here already a little bit.
There we go.
We're going.
This makes me nervous, though, Michael. This is the opposite of your superstitious. I'm a little stitious here because we're down through the trend line.
Pumping it to sell into that strength.
You never know. Or is that what they want you to think, Jane?
Who's on the other side of the truth? Right?
Yeah. Takes 2 to tango.
Who are you trading against?
Hopefully not you, Jane. You scare me sometimes with your levels. They're really accurate. But, look at this. I'm a professional. You guys, we do have a trading. We're going to be doing another one of these head-to-head. Now I'm fumbling the bag. Head-to-head, there it is, Jane. 1v1 challenges where you might get drawn to face off against one of us in the near future. So keep an eye out for those. We just did a little bit of a trial run today. And I heard it was an interesting experience, and it seems like it'll be a lot of fun going forward.
Seems like people were scared of me. Nobody showed up when surprise. I was supposed to be trading, and nobody showed up.
So I wasn't even trying to do like a callback. Like Michael said, I was sleeping. So I didn't catch that. But actually, I guess I was streaming with Dave then. Either way, I'm sure we'll get somebody up head to head next time. Those are big shoes to fill, though. So maybe.
All right. So for the person who was asking about e.l.f. earnings, I just got it up here. Net sales increased 35%. That's good. Diluted loss per share was 82 cents. So that's bad. So that's why I think it's not going anywhere. You brought in more revenue, and that's a good thing, but then you also still lost money. And just like we talked about with Rumble and the train wreck of that thing, they still haven't made any money. So when they reported earnings and said, yeah, we were still not making any money, they got punished. And that seems to be a theme, right? You can lose money when interest rates are zero and everyone's fine with it, as long as you promise to make some later. You can't really do that so much when interest rates are 5.5%. But the fact that they're increasing revenue is definitely helping out. So for the person who asked, that's what happened there. I guess I was looking at Intuit earnings, and they beat too, but they're unfortunately a software company, so I don't think it really matters if they beat. It's like Adobe has beat earnings and grown earnings forever, like year over year at an insane rate, but people aren't worried about what NVIDIA is doing right now. That's not the concern. They're worried about what's happening when they get replaced, or if they get replaced, and going to zero. So yeah, Intuit's earnings, they came in line on revenue, and then they beat actually pretty significant on the bottom line. And then they got smoked. So they made more money than people thought, and they're getting wrecked. So that's why
Printing red.
I'm a quant.
Dang.
I think that sums it up perfectly, right?
I love that. Short and sweet. By the way, okay, one other company is reporting tonight that I actually care a little bit about. I don't know if any of you do care about them, but BORR, BOR. So they're going to be offshore drilling, kind of similar to rig, and looks like a good reaction so far. I'm looking for actual numbers, but this is a very strong chart.
Yeah, they've done nothing. They have one print up there. So something tells me that wasn't either absolutely no one cares, which I doubt, or that's just a wild bid-ask spread that someone I notice people will do that after hours. Oh, there you go. Oh,
So I'm actually going to say
NVIDIA.
maybe this is going to go potentially bullish based off of BAI. So if you guys go into the holdings of BAI, it's 6%, almost 5.75% NVIDIA right here. But you guys can see over here on the left, right here, these bigger prints, that BAI had 2.2 million at 330, and we're above that level. So it's currently at 46.29, and that's at 46.12. Also, so a lot of times, why do I check that Form 4 to see what the insiders are doing? If an insider is trading an ETF where it's a large holding, they don't have to disclose that on their Form 4, right? Yeah, I see you nodding your head there, Steve.
That's super. No, you're connecting dots. I didn't even think about that, but that's very cool.
Oh, it's super common. Also with options, right? It's why every time Michael Burry takes a small short, everyone loses their mind because they don't understand how options disclosures work. So, someone says, Warren Buffett bought all this, and it's a bad example with him. But you only have to disclose the underlying stock position. So if you buy a bunch of stock and then immediately sell a bunch of calls above it, you only disclose the stock ownership and not the calls that you sold. So it's the same anytime you use. I think you should, because if I want to buy a whole bunch of NVIDIA and not get noticed, why not just buy NVDL and just not get noticed? But yeah, you can buy. I know that XRT with the whole GME thing. Some people just started trading XRT. Yeah, all kinds of stuff you can do as long as you're trading a derivative of the instrument. You don't got to tell no one.
Well, that makes a lot more sense as to why. Sorry, really quick. Just I've noticed for a while. There's a great account on Twitter called like Volume Leaders or something, and basically he's been looking at big prints primarily on these leveraged ETFs to mark either pivotal turning points or major breakout continuation points. And that makes complete sense from a logical perspective. That's how the big money can position for this move without, lighting the fuse before they have built their position, I guess. Because it can take a few days before those big prints act as support and really start ripping to the upside. Interesting stuff there. NVIDIA pulling back just a little bit, by the way.
I was about to say, it looked like we got a little bit of a downtick. And I thought, okay, did they come out a little early? But it's not. Again, you will just be able to tell by the candle whether or not, if you're just looking at the 5-minute candle or the 15 or whatever, you will not be surprised. It's not like they're going to report earnings and no one's going to notice because, again, there's these algos and they've been programmed to read the headline and they just immediately take trades within microseconds off it. And different algos are programmed to read different parts of it. So that's why you have usually these crazy candles, because one's buying because they beat revenue and the other one's selling because they missed earnings, and one's going crazy because it was like EBITDA or the press release had this word in it that it was programmed to detect. Children are fine. They're children. I feel like I should say that just so I don't end up on like someone's exposed YouTube channel for like beating my kids. Like I'd be smart enough to mute if I was going to go beat my kids, right?
Would you?
Just know that I'd use AI for it, right?
There you go.
But yeah, so we're gonna see a big print, probably 5 minutes or so to go, and then we'll end up seeing what happens here. So far, it's been, if you're a beauty company, good for you. If you're a software company, bad for you. And none of that, I think, really surprises us. Right? These software companies, regardless of what they had, is now we can clip beating my kids with a screen. Oh, well, there we go. Right? I should just have turned on my green screen for it to make it just to go the full 9 yards.
Go all the way.
No publicity is bad publicity. Is that how it goes?
You could, with all the kids I have, Michael, you could have said, "Oh, those are Jesse's kids."
Oh, that's what I should have done.
That's what you could do. I mean, I have
and
enough.
Just accused. Yeah.
Just say,
Do
hey,
you
the
have
new
kids,
guy.
Jesse?
I have 6 children. Yep.
Oh my goodness. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
he's got all of them. He's got all the kids.
I do. And Jane, I heard you real quick. You mentioned homeschooling the other day. We homeschool our kids, so bravo to you. It sounds like you said you were going to start doing that.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing that.
You homeschool all 6 of them?
Yes.
How do you have time to trade or stream or sleep or breathe? Or
I believe it or not, we just make good
easier,
use of the time that we have. Yeah, and you know what? I mean, just throwing this out, I was homeschooled as well, so I come from that world and that environment. I'm very familiar with it. So, we really make it work.
Well, and also with technology, what you're learning in a school classroom setting, besides math and reading, the logical thinking and the planning and the execution and entrepreneurship outside of the classroom is so much more valuable than sitting still for 8 hours with minimal activity and around peers that can bully you because their parents don't have any time for them and they're taking it out on you.
Yep. That's right. There you go.
All right. So we're at
I didn't mean to go down that rabbit trail, but I just wanted to say congrats, Jane. That's really great.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, a quick update on NVIDIA. We are pulling back again, so the vibes are immaculate. I really do hate big green candles into the print. It makes me feel terrible about being long something, and I almost always get out. And then sometimes it does go up, and I feel even worse. So I like the pullback within the range. This is comfortable. We can do this. Ain't no worries on this 15-minute chart that I'm looking at.
Are you still in the trade, Steve?
Yeah, it's 10 shares, and I got my stop over that last swing low now. So realistically, I'm probably going to get stopped out for minus like $2 overall. That's worth the price of admission just in case we catch the straight shot.
Sure.
I'm just having fun with the guys and Jane, of course.
I like
it. Yeah. And I jumped in too based off of a little bit of an upward channel that I drew on the 5 minute. So target would be, up to 225.70. If it can break above that, then I think we're heading on up to 233. So we'll see.
I love it. I got my trim right under 225 because if we get through, I think we rip.
Come on, let's rip.
e.l.f.'s holding up well, and Intuit is certainly not.
I can't see e.l.f. without thinking Will Ferrell. Every time I see the e.l.f. ticker, I just go, oh my gosh, I see Will Ferrell's face on the chart. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Do you have
Yeah, so if they hold true, we got a minute left. Again, they don't generally publish a time, which is weird. Right? I always said if I was CEO of a company, I'm releasing this stuff during market hours like a man. It's coming out at noon. Deal with it.
Right.
I mean, the market's it's going to get halted
Maybe they
all over
have
the
it
place.
on
It's
there.
crazy. No, I checked. They have
Earnings
their
call
conference call.
4 hours ago.
Get ready.
Here we
It's
I'm
go.
bullish
time.
on this.
Starting to
I'm bullish.
accelerate.
And Jane's right.
Or-
225 is the number. That thing breaks that. We're going up. All-time highs is 236, right, guys?
Quick, I think they're just coming out because it's going wonky. We get
Oh,
Yeah.
first move down. They took the stop, guys. Now $2.
Oh, just kidding. Back
Now we
down to
go
that
up.
220. Well, Al goes, up, down, up, down.
Yeah, remember, it's the 17th knee-jerk reaction to react to.
I'm waiting to get back in with my 5 shares because I'm de-risking because I'm smart.
Wow, those algos are powerful.
They got hands.
They do.
But the
Yeah, well,
220 zone-
right? One's reading one part of it, the other's reading the other part of it.
I still think we're
Oh,
going
yeah,
up.
here we go. Going to the upside. They're taking
Come on.
it down to suck shorts.
There's that 220.
All right, so here we go. So NVIDIA beats earnings per share by a lot. So 1.5 beating expectations of 1.79. Revenue beat as well. They made 82 billion with an expectation of 79 billion. So they beat both top and bottom lines, which I like to say it's another miss for the analysts. At this point, how do you let them beat? So they beat it all. Everything's looking fantastic, sunshine and kittens. Now it's about what do they say about the future, that kind of thing. But first reaction, obviously, to the downside. We'll see what happens. Not significantly. Remember, the market maker expected move was 6%. And right now we are, I wish we had that on our charts. NVDA, how much are we down after hours?
218. It's the
We're
low
down.
of the day.
That got me. All right, that got me.
Yeah.
I lost $20 on that one too.
We're down 2%. So again, we were expecting a 6% move and we're down 2%. So far, this is a much more muted reaction than the market makers had built in. So, everyone, the market as a whole, I keep saying market makers, but the market as a whole priced in, we're expecting roughly a 6% move on NVIDIA after hours today. And so far we've gotten a 2%. So now the question is, do we have, is that just a dip and rip? But we got to remind everyone, it's not like when the market's open and you do stop runs because there's no stops, right? They don't work. So you're not doing stop runs. You're kind of, right? The algos are reading through it. They're parsing through the information. They're figuring it out because you have your top line numbers and then you have like a whole report that has to be gone through. So so we're down about 2%. We were expecting up or down 6%. Let's see what happens. Do we hold these lows or do we continue lower here?
I'm still willing to try this again if it does start to base out, but I had to just wait and see. You were mentioning it seemed like a much milder report or reaction, and it looked to me like it was going to just be running the stops, kind of stabilize and try to flip that. It tested the level I got in as a pivot twice and then puked it, so I lost $1.50 per share there. So $15-20 on that, but still willing to give it another shot if we can see a little bit of a hold. So far, though, glad that I didn't take a large position in this on. I was playing some SOXL from this morning, and I got really scared. I just sold it. So I don't know if I was.
Well, and does this break the curse now? So we talked about the last 5 reports were gap up, fail, gap up, fail, gap up, or about break even to gapping up and then failing every day. If we gap down a little bit tomorrow, even considering it's way less than the market makers expected, does that break the curse? Do we maybe gap down and rip?
Yeah.
Maybe, right? That
maybe
would be
it's just
interesting.
maybe we're just clearing the positioning from all these options, all of these calls that we just can't let play out if we don't have that real reason to cause that gamma squeeze like we were looking for. That being said, a little bit of red to green here, testing that 220
Or
pivot
it's
again.
like Michael said, it's breaking that pattern. Let's suck everybody in short and let's squeeze them. Let's go ahead and take their money to the upside because, for the past year, it's always dropped, no matter what the news was.
And we got to remember that this is the first move, right? So we know there was no catastrophic. They didn't lose money. They didn't, miss revenue. None of that happened. So the real question is, okay, now that didn't happen, and it's roughly flat. We're down less than 1% on something we expected to move 6% up or down. So this is roughly flat. However, there is a conference call that starts, right? And if you want to, there's a bunch of places you can listen to that. I'm sure there's a bunch of YouTube videos or whatever. You can go and Stock Twits. They have like a little carousel where you can listen to the exact thing. But that's kind of the next thing, and that's where the CEO and the CFO and all this will talk about the future of what they think. Maybe that's the next catalyst. But so far, it looks like they dipped her, and now we're down less than 0.5% now on the earnings, which is good, because I think most of the whole market takes a big sigh of relief when NVIDIA doesn't like crash. It's like, okay, because imagine they miss. And how poorly we went over how poorly they're treated when they beat. They come in and they miss by like a couple $2 billion, and it collapses 10%, and the market goes, oh crap. We now have to deal with this because it's a large part of the market. We're now up after earnings. So there you go. Just
testing the 25.
Fast.
It's testing that, yeah.
Guys, it was too fast to say anything. I didn't want to interrupt, and I also don't trust it yet. I do have my 10 shares from just about 220 on the pivot smash back up through. I'm a stubborn guy. Some might call that dumb, but I am trying again, only up a little bit, but watching on the back test here might be where the rubber meets the road, trying to hold the 9-minute moving average. So we shall see if I am crazy and we get the breakout. Because Michael, you were saying we only got a 1% move. We got 6% left on the upside, baby. Why can't we tag that?
Do you use fibs at all? Anybody?
I do.
Steve, I know Steve's a big fib guy.
Steve likes the
I'm a fibber. What can I say?
Do you like the fibbing from the beginning of the week?
Ooh, let me take a look. I got to pull back from my monthly
I'm
chart.
at a 221.71 was a 61% retracement.
Oh, well, there you go. The magic little golden pocket there. I do love like that. And I missed that.
Larry's just asking. We got a few people asking there in chat. They've already reported. So they beat. He's talking about the 1.6%. Or the 1.6 EPS. They beat that. They did 1.85, and they beat revenue by 3 billion. So those numbers are good. Of course, all the nerds dive really deep, but they have smoked both revenue and revenue and earnings, which those two things, if you miss one and beat the other, that can be an ugly sign. But they have beaten both. So that's why we had that dip off the open. Maybe we'll push up. I love Tack's comment there about flat ruins everything, which is right. The call guys get crushed. The put guys get scrushed. I, for one, I talked about this. I sold my puts. Hey, if we stop right now, I'm a happy camper, because that means I'm gonna get my money tomorrow when I wake up. So Mr. Leather Jackman, Mr. Boob Signer Extraordinaire, can you just not mess anything up on stream, please? That would be great.
And we still have we still have 30 minutes for our Predict the Price challenge for NVIDIA that you can check out the link in the description for that. So there's still time. And the target price, what is it going to be tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time? And so you can predict the price, or you can also put your name, your email address, and you can try to win that way. So there's 2 ways to possibly win, and that is still good for another 30 minutes. So check out the link in the description, everyone.
All right, we're testing that 224.60. We hit 225.20 was the high.
And you know what? My trim was 224.75. I'm looking for a pop back into that kind of low volume node at 223.70 at the worst, for a little bit of an add back. But as for now, I am rocking and rolling with my shares on the upside, and give me that 6% upside move now, please and thank you. Will that mess your day up too much, Michael?
Oh no! Again, I sold puts, so anything over $100 on what NVDL. Okay. Where are we right now? By Friday, I make full profit, but I'll be taking most off the open tomorrow, or probably all of it off the open tomorrow, to be honest.
My sell order is in at 233.74.
We got nowhere near, right? So I talked about
we got a top
I just did the 100.
Steve.
the 100 calls or the 100 puts I did down here. So as long as we didn't break this significantly,
It's
I
going
wouldn't get
about
assigned.
225, Snowman.
Yeah.
And
We're there
Yeah.
already.
you know, so
225, 85, 60, dancing around the 88 level, 80s.
there's my
At
there's
last,
my
There
G
there we
note
go,
for
up
tomorrow
to
morning.
226. It's coming.
Love it.
Yep, here we go.
So
Gonna
I'm
hit.
seeing the big volume all the way up. You said 233, 234, something like that? That's where I'm seeing it too.
233.74. That's what my order is.
Well,
All right,
what's
I like it.
all-time highs?
236.
See, I'm going to be an old man right here. I have to do this to see the print on the. Oh,
You can
man,
zoom
I'm old.
in.
Isn't it 236?
Yeah, 236.54. So that's a while. that's a big move to get there.
We're $10
We're
away.
gonna do it, and
Keep
I'm
going.
I'm calling
Guys, I added.
233.74 tomorrow. There we go. That's
Oh
my
man,
10
you could
a.m.
have bought cheap calls then. You should have. That would have been a.
I put in 232 even. For
I
tomorrow.
think we're going to squeeze here if we get through this 228. 228. That's
Well, we
my
just
level.
hit another fib, almost.
Come on. It can fibs only. I only respect fibs if they work in my
227.32.
favor. Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, I stepped on you. 227.23.
Okay. Well, hey, that's a little head bonk action right there, right off that level. So I see it. I'd love a little higher low. Oh, do I want
Flipping.
to get involved? Be a little
Well,
brave
and
off the moving average.
if you wanted to know why this is so important, why everyone showed up for this particular stream, this isn't NVIDIA that I'm showing you. This is a chart of the S&P 500. You can see it did the exact same thing NVIDIA did. It moved with it kind of 100%, right? So this is why we watch this thing really closely, because NVIDIA is going to move the entire market. It is 8-9% of the market, depending on when you look. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So I'm glad that, for the market's sake, I'm glad that it didn't smash. That's for sure.
So it is coming back to my little volume shelf at 223. I'd like to see it hold here. If we find a buyer, I will add. So far, a little bit heavy. And maybe we just get no move. Like Talk said, maybe that is the real move after all. Just nothing.
221.71 is that fib level there that we're just about to test.
Ooh.
And that's a good reminder, right? We got to, if you like this, I see a lot of you here, new faces and everything. We're here every open and every close. So come and hang out. You know, we're not just reacting to earnings streams. We trade live on the open. We trade live on the close. So if you want to come by, we'll be here tomorrow. Usually start around 8:30 Eastern, definitely here by 9 every day. And yeah, we trade the open, we trade the close, we use the trade the pool accounts. Everyone having different style. We got Money Mitch. He does a lot of fundamental stuff, and Steve does a lot of technical stuff, and Jane's got her big money levels, and I'm a quant, and it's cool that we got all these different points of view of the market. So again, what are all the other things that YouTubers tell you to like, and give us 5 stars, and I don't know, tell your grandma,
and enter the contest, because we want to be able to go ahead and have you guys understand how amazing this software is for you to A, learn how to trade, B, practice risk management, and have the capacity to trade with lower risk, right?
Absolutely. That's what it really all comes down to, because there's no way to succeed at trading if you can't manage your risk. And when you're learning, it's really hard to know what the correct risk management looks like. And I'm a firm believer that you got to learn by getting your hands a little dirty, by touching the stove once or twice with a little bit of something real on the line. So it's not just a complete simulation. So I feel like this is a great opportunity to dip your feet in without risking too much, more than you might be realizing at the time. So it's a really good way to get involved. And it's also just a really good way to maximize your capital, because there's like 2 buckets of people who I recommend trade the pool to. It's new traders, but it's also experienced traders who know what they're doing, who just want the best bang for their buck there, and maybe need to turn a little bit of money into a good amount of money in a real short amount of time. So it's not just for newbies, guys. Leverage is good for everybody, almost.
and not everyone. Controlled leverage is good for. But and even even myself as a quant, I'm always testing. I'm not trading the strategies that I trade in my personal account that I feed the kids with in necessarily trade the pool's money. But anytime I come up with a new idea, I want to go from
Test it out.
a test idea, and then I want to do it in an eval account. If I'm
We got a
wrong and
Pops
the strategy
Mafia
sucks,
sticker
I
there,
lose.
huh?
Oh, nice. How do you think this
Oh no,
affects the Nasdaq? Well, it's going to be 1-for-1 with the Nasdaq, right? I just kind of showed that, but I think it's important to go back. Like, look at the Qs. Like, absorb this into your cranium for just a second, then go back to Nvidia. Right, same chart. Right, it's the exact. It's going to be. It's such a huge, and again, not just because the company itself is
Mags?
huge, but Mags, it might be a little different because Mags is equal weight. But it's not just because necessarily it's the market cap component, but you also got to think, what are the other massive market cap components? Well, it's a lot of other semiconductors. So if business is good for the biggest semiconductor, it's probably good for the little crappy semiconductors too. And as a sector, they're all going to move. They're all going to move together. We look at e.l.f. Was that the real winner? Should we all have been not watching Nvidia and watching the beauty company?
Beware the monkey hammer. Says, let's go e.l.f.
Yeah, he's working, man.
It's looking pretty good there. Not too bad. NVIDIA kind of limp, kind of just weak right at that 2-2-3 pivot. So I'm green. I'm just going to get down back to 5 shares just so I don't have to worry about what it does. I don't really think it's going to get the big move unless he says something wild on earnings.
Yes, so
Just
that's
looking like a fadeaway win.
that is the next big catalyst. I got to take off and or I will be castrated for not helping to put the kids to bed. So I'm gonna take off, guys. If Steve, you got your charts up or something like that. But I appreciate everyone hanging out. Again, do all the YouTubey things and leave likes and tell your dad to come check it out and all that kind of stuff. And let's just all do a little dance that he doesn't fall down on stage or anything like that. And it looks like the market lives. It's not a crazy rip, but we live to see another day. There won't be a huge gap down tomorrow, knock on wood. And I appreciate you guys. So yes, I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 Eastern. So come on and tune in. We'll see what happens, and we'll talk markets. Peace, guys.
Thanks for
Sounds
joining
good.
me.
Have a good night. I've also got another moving average, the 336 simple. All right, you guys are watching. So you see here, we've got this red one. I know I've got a lot of stuff on here, but here are my fib levels, right? I'll hide the fibs for now. Hide those puppies. And we've got this red one right here, 336 simple on the 5-minute. And it's just holding that as support. We had the buying wicks all above it. This yellow one right here is my, let's go, yellow, 450. Right? So it's that 400, 425, 450 zone. We've got 336 right here. I just sometimes will play around with different moving averages and put them on and like, okay, well, how many times is this going to hold? Right? And how often will it act as resistance and support?
I gotta ask, what made you stumble across some of these like esoteric numbers? Like, I just love how they're not on most people's radar, not on my radar. Anything in particular? Is it more like, I know the 90 was really
time frames and playing with different and looking to see where the bottoms and the tops were. And then, hey, do they repeat back over time and time again? So now, the 45. We've got the 161 EMA right here too in the 50 simple hanging out. 161's at 222.31 and the 50 simple's at 222.35. So no 90. We hit that top area about 223. That's the 33 on the 90-minute.
very cool. Very cool.
That is very
Yeah,
cool.
I'm a big believer in these random. They seem random, but there's always a rhyme or a reason to them, and it's so interesting to kind of try to figure out, unpuzzle that puzzle and figure out the why behind why certain algorithms are definitely real, and so it always just makes me wonder. I wonder if there is a holy grail out there, one random combination that always works. Probably not. It's probably you gotta identify which algorithm is firing at what time on what stock, because they're all there's all different factors at play here, and it's all kind of just a bunch of different algorithms battling it out. Like Michael was saying on the prints, whichever algorithm is reading, whichever one is reading, if we have them all reading one word, whichever word is really heavily weighted, that's what's going to win. Whatever algorithm is stronger off any specific moving average, that's going to just win over the others. And that could change based on so many factors that it becomes like a game of hunting for each kind of session. Even I've noticed, like, maybe the morning session it's working on one, but then that turns off after that liquidity leaves.
I think the holy grail would be a time machine. I think that would be the holy grail there. I think that would be the way to do it.
We already knew.
I do want to mention one more time, because we only have a few more minutes for our NVIDIA challenge. So it ends here in a few minutes, but the print we're looking for is at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, the winner gets a 25K Flex account. There's only one winner. Check out the link in the description for that, okay? So if you haven't done it, there's only a few more minutes to do it. We have our NVIDIA challenge, so check it out.
Don't be shy. Enter.
Don't be shy.
Yeah. No reason to be shy on that.
And you just have to fill out your email and your name. That's the information I'm getting. It's that simple. Your email and your name. If you have a name and you have an email, fill it out and you could get a 25K Flex account. Possibly.
Correct. You could win one. You could earn one.
You could win. Reminds me of the Jingle All the Way when they're trying to get the Turbo Man. And he's going to that radio station, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's confused about that contest, and he's like, no, I don't have a Turbo Man here. I have a coupon to maybe win the Turbo Man, maybe.
That's a classic. That's up there with best Christmas movies.
It's a pretty good one, actually.
I will go down. I will die on the hill that Die Hard is the best Christmas movie. It's a Christmas movie. You can't deny it. During Christmas
movie, but you gotta go with The Wonderful Life. But okay, I do like Die Hard. Completely different.
Fine, that's good too. Fair enough.
What about Home Alone? I mean, the Home Alone series too. You can't.
Classic.
You cannot go wrong with those. Right now, it seems like it's just sort of stalling on NVIDIA. Not going anywhere.
I'm all flat. It's boring. I'm bored. I think it's going to move tomorrow. So I think that it was crisis averted for the most part, unless the call goes really poorly. But this looks like the market accurately priced it, and it's just going to do nothing right now to me.
I'm still looking for that 233 tomorrow. That's my target.
Tomorrow, I think for sure. This is not a swing account here. And Jane, I got the attention span of a goldfish, so I'm not going to be looking at charts after this. But I wish you the best. I think you probably get it. And maybe this is the start of the move. I do see it curling up, so the earnings call might be starting.
Come on.
Oh, now
they had to wait until the big guys got their trades in. See, now that it's in, go ahead and start. You can start. Okay. You had the 5-minute delay. Wait. 22-minute delay. We'll call it.
So we just have to fool the algorithms. We just got to fool the algorithms. We say on stream that I'm out, and then Jane, that means that you're profiting on the swing account. And who's to say? Maybe I can find a place to define
all these
risk.
Moving averages. You see, they got stuck in the muck. Stuck in the muck of the moving averages right here. It's got to go one way or the other. It broke free, poof, it moved up. But we're stuck in the muck.
Stuck in the muck.
If it gives me a fair value entry at 222.75 to 222.90-ish, that would be the last place I'd try with a tight stop right under that candle. I don't want to get caught in that muck if it is not pushing off with this earnings call to try to get this little
224, I think, is more of a clear right here. 224.04.
I like it. I like it.
We're wicking. But it's just, yeah.
Let it work. Let it wiggle.
It's messy. That's one of the things also you guys can also enter. Every morning we are starting the one-on-one trading challenges. And that's one of the hardest things is you are forced to trade right off the bat. You have 10 minutes and you have to take a trade. And so it's managing the trade, right? because then if it's like with the market madness, the smallest loser wins. If you're scouting around, you need to know your trade setups. But many times trading is all about waiting for that trade setup. Hey, I think we got Josh here.
Hey.
Yeah. Ding, ding. Come on here.
What's up, beautiful people? How are we doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Good.
Hey,
Busy,
bud.
busy, and really, all this anticipation just to kind of do nothing in the end for NVDA, you know?
Just kind of just consolidating at the moment.
Yeah. It's in the muck. We're stuck.
Yes.
Stuck.
Good to see you finally, Miss Airplane Jane. I don't get to see you too much there, but yeah,
I know.
I'll start joining a little bit earlier on Tuesdays and Thursdays so I can get in with the get in those. You know, listen, if there's one plane I want to fly, it's Airplane Jane. Okay, well, I don't want Spirit.
All right. Wait. Uh-oh.
That would be a better one. Yeah, sandwiches for all tech. What's up, Michael D. Ryder? How we doing? How's everybody doing today? Snowman. So yeah, earnings. Did we do that? We have, I guess, all the giveaways. I'm sure y'all announced that over and over and over, right?
Yep.
We have.
Guys, I'm trying for you again, but I just don't think it's working. I want to be in the trade if it works. I got in on the fair value, got back in the muck, as Jane would say.
Stuck in the muck.
Do as I say, not as I do. I want to give you something to watch. So you see the chaos on my screen. We were taking some off at 25. We got stopped out. We got back in. We exited manually. We got back in again.
It was a long, dirty wick on the 5 minute.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes you just got to stick with it. My mom always said, if you're not going to be smart, you better be tough. So I'm hanging in there, holding. But you know what? I do have a limit. So if it wicks me again here, I'm going to give this one to Jane and let her patience carry her to the promised lands of 230 and above. And that'll be a tomorrow trade that I'll look at there. I'm trying, though. I'm trying. Are any of you actively in NVIDIA right now? Yeah, right here, brother. Right here. 16 whole shares.
I have 10 shares. Okay. I'm down $10.
All right. What are we doing? Long or short? We long or short? Long or short?
Long.
Gotta go long. Come on.
What is your bias? Even after the earnings report. I mean, the earnings report's BS to me. It's where the big money is. But what's your thought?
Overall, what I was noticing on the daily and just hourly for NVDA was a little bit of a head and shoulder starting to form on NVIDIA, which would be from last Monday would be the shoulder. Head started getting created on Wednesday through this Monday, and now Monday through today, we're kind of creating another shoulder. I don't care about, you can tell me what the earnings are. I don't have no idea. I haven't even actually looked at them, but I just look at the chart. And I would say, to me, a key area is going to be that 230 anchor there, Miss Airplane Jane. So, Jane, if we do get back over 230, you're looking sexy. And this play is off and running. Now, does it say that we're going to take off that mark? And to me, the neckline for the shoulder is going to be at 217. So, really relatively close to, did you say 216 was your entry price, Mr. Steve, the Crowbar Achieve? Oh, no, I wish I could say that. No, I got stopped out at 218. I got back in at 220. So okay. That's what you do, right? You sell low and then you buy higher. That's what we do. Yeah, right. Love it. Might as well. That's the way we roll. I think that's going to be where we stay. Now, overall, when I see this, now, it doesn't mean we're going to. We'll give it another 45, 50 minutes. 45 minutes to an hour, 45 minutes to the next hour. Maybe it makes a direction, but I would not be surprised. And I've seen this before where Tesla, yeah, we're going to get, wow, we didn't do anything. So we find a high, we find a low. 227 top, 217-ish, 216 bottom. I could see us tomorrow channeling within that range. Now, I think the likelihood of us going up is better. And so, yes, if I had to go now to my final verdict after all that splish splash, I would go, yes, I have 65% up, downside 35%. So if I like it. You got to hedge your bets because.
And yes, the answer to the question from Yassiger Sean, I am sorry, I am mispronouncing that, but yes, earnings has come out and NVIDIA reported $81.6 billion in revenue for Q1, which was higher than expectations. So yes, it has come out.
And I believe that we were looking for a whisper number over 82 billion. There were some pretty bullish estimates, and so that might explain that washout. Some insiders saying, hey, I thought it was going to be just a little bit better, just a couple billion better. And then maybe the market as a whole saying, hey, it's still pretty good. We can at least hold it at that 223 level, kind of pin in the close for now. And let's see what they have to say on the call. That's, I think, kind of the state of affairs here. It's not a smash beat that we would need when it's so priced into perfection already. You know, it's tough. It's tough when you have a laggard in a sector that really needs to outperform, and everybody's kind of just expecting the same good, but not like stellar numbers. So stuck in the mud, kind of the theme here for now. But I think give it in a few days, and the market might want to reward this keep the rally going.
No one's worried about Intuit. In the what no one worries about no, it's funny because I'm like, I looked at one of the other large earnings reports. Look at INTU and the move it's made. We're sitting here watching nothing on
Yeah, we
NVIDIA.
saw that a little earlier. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Oh,
Big
that's
wick up too, man. Those 400 fills, man. If you were short at that level, you're sitting pretty here. And software can't get off the mat still in some of these names. You think this is just one of those ones that can't survive the AI transition? Is it going to be a zero someday? Because it's still a $350 stock.
well, that's my place. I do my taxes through Intuit all day. I'm just I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Another one I used to look
Is
at.
that saying something about people doing their taxes? They're not using them.
Right.
Hey, is Claude going to do it for everybody, right? Is that where NVIDIA is going to run and Intuit's going to crash and burn, right? Because to be realistic, hey, become a tax expert for me. Let me give you my numbers.
Right.
Guys, we
Give
put
me
in
all
we
those
put in we put in our numbers with Grok, and what did we use? Claude and Grok this year before we took it to our tax person that we take it to every year. We have been for the last decade, and it was kind of eerily amazing how accurate AI was with our numbers. It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
How about that?
I'm about done doing my own taxes. I kind of learned what to do, and so I do my own. But it's painstaking, and so yeah, I didn't think about that. Let's like, 'cause I just haven't got there. I'm just for whatever me.
Are you not AI versed yet?
I'm not. I just because I do everything myself, and so I want to do it myself. I'm like MacGyver, and I know you're old enough, Miss Jane, to know who MacGyver is. I don't want a computer. I don't want a computer to tell me what to do. I want to do it myself, and I have the capability to do it. So I know it's down the line, and it's going to happen.
It's the shortcuts, though. I'm learning. I still think I think I might be like the senior person here.
maybe. Well, I'm 40 plus now, so
me too.
Okay, yeah. So I am.
Steve's younger than me, though. I'm not. I'm 39. Steve, you're younger than that.
I mean, in my mind, I'm 29, so it's all good, right?
I know.
It's
I'm still 29 too in my mind. Yeah.
Right. 100%.
But next year is a really big year for me. NVIDIA's breaking down here.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. I'm going to trust my stop because I will go down with the ship down to the 221.40. I don't want it to lose these wicks. If so, I think it's the beginning of a little bit of a slide and probably just no real rhyme or reason to be in the trade at that point for me.
Do you have your point of control on there, Steve? Since earnings, or you just have it? Can you advance it to where it's to a certain time? Peg it to a certain time, like an anchored view app or anything? There we go. I'm out. I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm giving it till the candle close, and then I will bid this trade adieu. Down $22 here.
Here's a fun fact from TAC. He says both Intuit and HR Block lobbied Congress to keep people paying for tax prep. Wow. I didn't catch that story, TAC. That is, I mean, that's not surprising, but dang.
Still not enough to save it, huh? That's brutal.
Yeah.
All right, so now I don't want any follow through that candle. Very likely that I will get stopped out when this candle washes out, but on the off chance that it is just reaching down and then this is a little liquidity grab and it never looks back, well, so be it. I'll still be in the trade. We're getting on down there. Only 7 minutes left. I'm ready to get stopped out and go eat some food. How about you guys?
Like Michael said, though, we're still not down that full 6% or up. You know, I mean, it's not like it's really making that much of a low right now. It's still not scary.
True. I saw a little acceleration there. I always like to see a big candle after I get stopped out. That makes my ego feel a little bit better. Like, hey, at least I didn't hold through that. So
I'll tell you another reason why is because I put on that anchored volume profile point of control, and it's up above at 223.46. So I can't, in good conscience, hold it long overnight. knowing that the bigger money from earnings is above. Can't do it.
I like
Rule.
that.
It's a rule. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Now I could
And
come back later and it could be above and I'll go long.
I like that. I like that. That's kind of how I look at small cap stuff too. It's like if I'm not swimming with the pack and the pack isn't in good shape, I don't want to be here when they start getting picked off. And then, you know, all of a sudden, instead of sitting pretty in profits, the average trader is red and starting to sell. That
so what you're telling me, Jesse, is when the Alamo back in the 1836, you would have ran. You wouldn't have stayed with us. You wouldn't have stayed and fought. You would have ran out of that Alamo, huh? You said this pack doesn't look too good.
I don't want it.
I don't want it. One of my relatives is Davy Crockett, man. I mean, my family fought in the Alamo, so yeah, I would have been right there. I know I would have stayed and bled and died.
I love it. Yeah. Jesse's right there with me. We would have been dead, Jesse, but it's all good. We would have been talked about in history for a long time.
That's right. They would know my name down the road.
And Jane, we would have protected you with all of our might.
All right. I'll be baking some bread in the house.
Please do.
That sounds much better. I think I'll hang out with Jane.
I actually went to culinary school. I was first in my class at Cordon Bleu.
Nice.
Very cool. My dad, he was a chef, did the whole culinary school thing. I think I might skip a generation, though, because I can make a mean grilled cheese, but I'm still working on progressing beyond that. Do love
That's
it, though.
something that AI probably won't do so well, right? Is cooking. Yeah. That's a good skill. The trades.
100%.
Right.
100%. At least I can revert back to that. I'm a big foodie. Ask Steve. I think every live stream there's some sort of food brought up from. I mean, I think if I had to go back to every live stream I've ever done in my life, well, it's hundreds at this point. I would even, which is crazy. Let's say there's been 1,000 live streams I've done throughout the years. I bet 90% of them plus food has been talked about for sure somewhere in that live stream.
Well, I'm about to go have a awesome Italian chicken sandwich.
Ooh, oh, nice, amazing. Yeah,
chicken patty.
Oh, nice. Okay, so where are you? I know Steve's West Coast. We got East Coast for Jesse. Where are you located, Jane?
I am international. I'm up in Canada, and middle of July, gonna be home base in Florida.
Oh,
so going through a massive international move. So you guys will be missing me on the streams a bit once I pack up my desk and like my setup and everything. It's got to get shipped down. So yeah, it's going to be a bit. I'll be here from my laptop, but not the full setup like usual.
Gotcha.
During about 3 weeks.
That's some geographical differences right there, and also environmental. I mean, you're going from like, which I was just talking on my live stream. You're going to go Canada. I doubt you ever had to deal with humidity ever in Canadian land, and now you get to deal with the swamp. Talk about swamp and being stuck in the muck. Get ready being stuck in the muck of some humidity.
Oh yeah. Well, I grew up in DC, so I grew up in swampland. But Montreal is more humid and hotter than Orlando in the summer.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a microclimate of an island within a river. And so it's when the heat comes in, forget about it.
Forget about it.
Well, just get ready for it more often then, because you're going to have it more often. Well, you get a beach now. You get beaches. So where at in Florida are you moving to?
Right to Orlando.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's beautiful. Well, good. Yeah. Enjoy. Yeah. So you're going to be right there with Money Mitch. Was there a reason why Orlando? What was the reason for Orlando?
You know what? We had condos down there. And we were going and traveling, and my husband was like, we were talking about moving. We looked at Nashville. I went to college in Memphis. I lived in Atlanta. I lived in Rhode Island, lived all over.
You went to college in Memphis. Where at? University of Memphis, or was it a local school?
She said.
Where at?
Rhodes.
Rhodes. Oh, wow.
I'm a Rhodes scholar.
Wow, look at you. Yeah, because I'm in Arkansas most of my life, so you were just right next door to me. That's crazy. I had no idea that. Well,
yeah. That's it. I got my pilot's license when I was in college there, and we used to fly to Sikeston a lot. Right. Well, Missouri. And so I went to Heber Springs, Arkansas. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Or is that Missouri?
That's Arkansas,
and we were reading about it with my girls because now I'm teaching homeschooling like Jesse. We were talking about the different 50 states. We read a couple states every night. The only diamond mine is in Arkansas.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
I remember my little facts here.
Josh said the other day. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I just talked about that on the live stream. Yeah. Did you catch that, Jane, when I was talking about that?
No, unfortunately, no.
You're good. No, it's funny. I just mentioned that to Jesse that we have the only, and I think I even mentioned that to Steve on a live stream once as well, too. Yeah.
You did.
And you can go and whatever you find, you can keep.
Right.
There's 1 minute left to drop your NVIDIA predictions. Enter now. The link is in the description. This is it. Print for 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow.
I'm still going with 233.74.
It's a good bet. I think I put mine at 230 even. So we'll see. We'll see. I love all of the chat interaction, guys. I love all of the chill vibes. I love this panel approach. So it's great to hang out with all of y'all and get to know y'all even a little bit better. Sorry about the barking dog in the background. I'll mute, but I just wanted to say this has been a lot of fun, guys. Thanks so much, both everybody in here and everybody in chat, for joining the stream.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we gotta do a Florida meetup. It's gotta happen.
It'll be fun. We go to Florida once a year. I live in Missouri, Jane. We go to Florida for vacation. So yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Well, I did also. I got into trading when my daughter was 6 months old, my eldest daughter, and then I started doing Modern Trader Summit. So I did that until COVID shut down the borders, and I couldn't travel. I couldn't leave, really, to go ahead and host them. So an event, maybe we'll bring that all back, and we'll have Trade the Pool help us out with that, and have some great times all together.
Yes, 100%. I love some Florida being like. It's funny that Jesse, you say that. It's like a Midwest to Southeastern thing. Like when you go to Florida, at least the Panhandle, because I'm guaranteeing that's probably where Jesse goes to a lot. Jesse, is that where you go to?
No, but actually, it's on the other side. I like to go to the other side, the Miami side.
Gotcha. Yeah, but that how many people go to that area?
Everybody does, though. Yes, that's so true.
Yeah. Been going there since like the late 80s when my dad discovered like Destin and Pensacola, and there was really nothing there back then. So White Sands, not a lot of people, and so we started laughing. They're like, "Wow, this is heaven! It's not that expensive to go here," especially back in the day. So that was a
little Apalachicola.
Yeah. Beautiful area. So yeah, I love some Florida. So yeah, I would love to do a Trade the Pool meetup, get together, something in Florida for sure.
That's awesome, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Steve's like, man, what about Cali though?
That is what us Cali boys sound like, to be fair. But no, I get along better with East Coasters. I always have said this. I like the you guys you sound mean, but I know you care, and that hits home more, you know. So I'm an East Coaster. I know Florida's their own thing down there. So
hey, it is so much that Avery found a show like on Netflix. I want to say it's called it's on. Hold on, let me ask you real quickly.
He's gonna get up. He's gonna walk out, and there he goes.
Pause. Hold on. You should have at least hidden the camera. You know.
HBO Max. So it's HBO Max, and it happens in Florida or something along those lines, and it's about crazy real stories that happen in Florida. Because we used to watch a show called Live PD, and boy, oh, yeah, there's some crazy things that happen in Florida. Florida's like its own country almost, you know. It's
yes, it is.
So is Quebec.
Well, yeah,
Quebec is like its own country too.
Literally. I love it.
Guys, I am out of here. It's been a pleasure.
I gotta run too. I gotta go to tutoring with my kiddos.
Y'all
Bye. Have a great night. Thank you, Steve. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.
Y'all have a great day.
All right, guys, just to put a little cap on this, NVIDIA, exactly where we closed, that has been the tale of the tape. It has been a Theta Gang win for the market makers. With that in mind, we will be looking for the big moves tomorrow on stream, so tune in bright and early for our normal programming with all of the greats here. We'll have Big Money Mitch, we'll have Michael Noss, I believe Airplane Jane is on the agenda. Josh, me and you, I know that we'll be hanging out later in the day as well with our call-in show and Power Hour. Yeah. Anything else to say?
Yeah. Got a lot going on tomorrow. So we'll have you covered like we do every Monday through Thursday here. Opening bell. I think we started even before the opening bell, if I'm not mistaken. And we have you covered throughout all the ways you can see here to after hours and across the board and across the globe for the most part too as well. So there's one thing that we do, and that's right. You better watch out. Josh, you were real. Well, you know, I'm not real. I am real. Like I am just I am naturally like, hold on, let me go ask Avery real quick. For real, Pensacola Beach. Yeah, I'll tell you. Oh yeah, Pensacola. Well, I love it. Yeah, no, Navarre Beach is where we go to all the time. Navarre Beach. Parents have a condo down there in Navarre Beach, so we've been going down there for the longest time. Love Pensacola, anywhere in that area. Love Florida. It's fun, beautiful area. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. Joe, Florida Joe. Speaking of, Steve the Crowbar, Airplane Jane, Messy Jesse, as we're calling him. We're Big J. Nigel, great. Yeah, Nigel, Tack for coming over. All for Love Frenchies. I love it. Hey, you spell All for Love Frenchies, by the way. Stop by, look at this. You're really gonna take care. And we got shepherds, we got Great Danes, we got labs, we got we got dogs popping in here. So anywho, but thank you all for coming over to Balance Imbalance, Mr. D Rider. Anyway, you guys have a great, safe, blessed, food-filled rest of your day. See you guys back in the morning.
Take care, y'all.